We are live. It is 3:01 Central Standard Time in the United States, 9:01 BST in the
Still
UK.
BST. Yep, still BST.
It's a Nomad Tech project with Sam and Joe.
Hey.
Coming to you live this 20th day of October 2024. And if you are watching the stream, congratulations. Right. You understood the assignment, and Joe is double feeding his audio.
No, just for a second.
All right, cool. If you're listening, you would hear Joe's double feed the audio, and then you're watching the stream live, and that's pretty cool. If you're not, you can just catch it on the actual podcast again. The Nomad Tech Project podcast. Go check that out. All the socials, all the Twix. And I don't think we're on Facebook because I don't have Facebook, but all that stuff.
You don't got Facebook?
No, I haven't had Facebook in years.
Oh.
I did it for a while. I did for a while, and honestly, to be honest, most of the reason why I got rid of it was just the political content just got to me. I was just like, I can't do this.
To be fair, I've got it, but I don't really use it. So,
and then watching family members like just back and forth, it's kind of whatever. So, again, I'm interested in political stuff. Obviously, it does affect us, but I just don't like to get into the comments and the back and forth thing. It just kind of sucks, and people just aren't really they're really not nice about it. So what are you gonna do?
Not much you can do, is there?
All right. So, I guess we have, I guess a lot to talk about. Not really. I did actually get off the beta on my Pixel. I just installed 15 clean and then just reset it. Factory reset. I do that every time. I just factory reset it. Just nice clean install.
They say it's healthy to do that sometimes. Every now and again.
Yeah, and I mean, and for me, it only takes a little bit. All the accounts I have, I know all the passwords too, and logging back into stuff, and it's nice. It's so much easier. And then, what's is funny because I put the Android. First of all, I did the data wipe, so it wiped out when I went to 14, updated 15, and then when I did that on my Z Fold 5. Mm-hmm. It just came up all of a sudden. It just says, "Hey, do you want to transfer your stuff?" It didn't even I said, "Sure." I did it wirelessly. I didn't even. It was so seamless to move and copy those accounts and those apps over to the new Pixel setup. It literally was 2 button clicks.
Yeah, I find it easy.
I know when Becky moved her iPhone to her 16 Pro, and that was a kind of a pain in the butt, actually.
Yeah,
I understand. I understand their security focus, and I get that, but it just seems to be, it shouldn't be that hard. It should be a lot more straightforward, I think. But
what's the T-shirt saying? You're killing
me, Smalls. It's from the movie The Sandlot. It's a baseball movie. Probably not many. Probably doesn't get a lot of play in the UK because they don't have baseball really that much.
From here, it looks like the guy from the Goonies. Hey, you guys!
Oh yeah, no, it's the catcher from the. It's one of the phrases. The movie is kind of a cult classic, and it has a lot of phrases in it.
Am I looking at?
Yeah, well, I mean, you definitely don't look. Yeah, you're non-American. You look like you could be in either the UK or Eastern Europe or the United States. Whatever, Alexa.
Anyway, yeah.
So I switch back to that. I keep coming back to the Pixel, and just really it comes down to the software experience. It just is to me. It just all the things that it offers you. And again, I don't dislike Samsung. I think they have a lot of features. They actually have a lot of features that I really come to appreciate. That I wish that the Pixel lines had. With some features, but pound for pound, I think the Pixel is where it's at for me.
Let's talk about that, Sam, because me and you always say we like Pixel software. I don't think we actually get into the nitty gritty of why and what it is we like about it. So, I mean, what would you say your favorite things about Pixel and what it differentiates over other devices?
I like the fact that I know this might be a hot take, but I like the fact that I can just kind of use the built-in Pixel launcher, and I don't really feel like it's restrictive. I mean, I know at the bottom it's got the Google search bar. I know a lot of people were talking about wanting to have it removed, but it doesn't really bother me. I mean, I use the Google search quite a bit actually. What I do like is circle search. Obviously, that's not just a Pixel thing.
No.
I do like the live transcribe, and what I actually like is, and for a person who still makes phone calls and gets put on hold and has to follow up, the way it handles calls, when you're making a call, it's really slick. Where he puts it on hold, and it basically just waits and it lets you know, hey, you've come off hold, right, and you can just pick up the call. It's really kind of cool. The call features are really, really, really great.
Yeah, I agree there, definitely, 100%.
And I just like the fact that it's a fairly. I don't really like. I mean, although One UI is pretty good. I've always kind of been more of a person who really appreciates more basic AOSP Android skins. I don't like the over theming and the over skinning. Although it is nice to have some customizations and some colors and that kind of stuff. I don't know. It just really bums me out because really this is the only. I haven't felt really connected to an OEM like I did with HTC or LG. I really miss those devices, and I really and I think this is great. But like I said, I'm probably one of the few people who like Sense UI. So there's a lot of things about the Pixel I like. It's call handling features. Obviously, the camera is really good for a person like me who really is a point and shoot. I'm not into editing. I mean, although I have kind of dabbled in editing some stuff.
Yeah.
It's really pretty good. I really do enjoy it.
Yeah, I'd say I'm quite similar to you. Now playing is something I love, which is such a small feature, but I really love it. And looking back as well, the fact that it saves a list of what's been playing in the background as well. So now playing's a big one for me. Definitely the cool features you mentioned, that they're fantastic. I think the simplicity of Pixel is nice as well. Definitely. So I'm a simple guy, Yes,
I don't.
In my
I don't
opinion.
really. I really don't. And this is nothing against the question. I just don't like the way the comment is structured.
Yeah,
It's
it's
because
vague.
it's vague, but also it gets down to. I don't know one. I don't know that if one is better than the other. I think I will tell you that now that the Pixel 9 series, and I haven't obviously I own 8, so I don't have the 9. I saw it in the store, and I do like the fact that they went with the flat sides. It's more of an iPhone-esque kind of device. So I would say until the 8 series, until the 9 series, I would think that iPhone's hardware is probably pretty superior. They make a really good phone. Hardware wise, iPhones are hard to beat. I really do like the way they feel. They always feel really really premium. They're really well made. It just comes down to there are things on Android devices that I've come to use for years that I just prefer. It's more of a preference, not which one is better. If you're asking me which one is better, I'd say they're both great. If you are saying that
the answer I'd give is better for me,
or would be more my preference, or the features that allow me to do allow my workflow day to day, definitely would be Android.
Yeah.
Also, I like the fact that there is, unfortunately, in the United States, you don't have as much between the other OEMs, right? And if you're in the UK or Europe, you can get into the Vivos, the Xiaomi's, the Realme's. But the fact that you can really get into the fact that the budget segment now, the Bovril. All right, let's see what we got.
Oh, that's some good beef tea, that.
Yeah. You need to send me the bag, man. Just mail it to me. Let's get a bag and mail it. So where did you get that?
Cups come in it as well. The cups come in it as well, look.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
So where'd you pay? Is that like a grocery store or something, or
a pound shop around the corner? Yeah, it wasn't a pound though. Yeah, pound stretcher.
A pound stretcher. So it's like a dollar shop where they have
that type of thing. Yeah,
but really some things are like $5 or whatever. That's cool.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'll get you some, Sam.
Well, I'll tell you, for like a camping trip, I got back this morning. For a camping trip where it's nice and cool, that stuff would hit it good. Or if you're
man.
If you're like a high school football game and it's kind of cold out, or any even a soccer match.
That's what I love about you, Sam. You get beef tea. You get it.
Yeah, it has a specific. You wouldn't. Yeah. I don't think you would want to drink that in the summer. And it's one of those things where
by the peach.
Right. I mean, you could, I guess, and nobody's going to judge you here on the Nomad
Yeah,
Tech Project.
if you like beef tea,
If you drink beef tea and it's like 35 Celsius outside, fine.
you do you, man.
You do you, babe. But I just, it's kind of like I will not drink apple cider. I don't know if they have that in the UK, apple cider.
Yeah.
I'll drink that in the wintertime, but that's something I would not normally drink. Maybe if it's cold. Maybe if it's cold. I don't eat. No. That
Jeff,
really
Jeff Magnus in the US. Magnus and Bournemouth.
I don't think so.
Because that's a nice cider that it's very sweet, but that's a nice one in the summer. You have over ice though.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely more tropical drinks that you drink in the summertime that are more refreshing, right? That have like fruit and stuff. But when it comes down to you're cold and you want to kind of get in there, that's what I'm saying. And yeah, they do have cider. It's quite nice. Yeah, especially a little cinnamon stick in there. That to me is a hot drink that you would drink like sitting by a fire, or if you're outside, even on a day like where it's snowing and you just want to sit outside, and if you're shoveling snow and you want to come in, you want to warm up a little bit because you've been outside or playing with kids.
Beef tea would be wicked for that.
Dude, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's a shame that I just can't go get Bovril here at the local shop, kind of. Yeah, and Guinness. Yeah, Guinness is very nice. Yeah, in case you want to get into that stuff, I would say.
Question to Jimmy is: does he have Bournemouth or Magnus where he's at?
We'll find out. He'll have to answer. So no, I don't think we have that here, but it's all good. So yeah. So I guess what phones were you using? What are you doing right now? And I know so who was making the chat about the Xperia? Was that you or was that somebody? It was Dan.
Oh no, Dan's got himself Xperia 1.5 again because he loves it. And he's got the vlog kit already, isn't he? So it just makes sense. And he's going to use that for some content. Which is it's a good shout. He got it for 449 quid, I think he said.
So it's the one. Is it the 1.5? Is that what that is?
Yeah, the 1.5, last year's flagship for 449 quid.
That's not bad at all.
Not bad at all. Yeah.
No, and he said you still have you have no experience at all, right? You didn't.
Not right now. No, I switched up for my V3. John really annoys me, right? Dan's had an update on his V3 and he's got Circle to Search now. But when I check, mine's up to date apparently.
Is the model different, I wonder? That's weird.
I don't know. I mean, we both got it through the same carrier.
Then I would assume that if you got through the same, if it's a carrier thing, I would assume the model number is the same.
Yeah, you'd think so. So that's why that's what surprises me. But I mean, this has been a few days now as well. I thought, maybe I'll get it the next day. But no, I'm still trying and it hasn't come through.
Yeah, and basically, I think that's really honestly, if I could get, and I know I can't but if I could get pretty good feature parity on the Flippy Dippy, I would use this almost all the time. I really like the Flippy Dippy.
Dan's come back in his Flippy Dippy.
Yeah.
Hey, the birthday boy's here.
Hey, Peter.
Hey, Peter.
Happy birthday, my friend. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for popping on in. Appreciate that. We don't have I noticed that we haven't had a lot of guests lately, and I think that's partly because Joe and I
are awful at organizing.
And we haven't really reached out to a lot of people. And I did reach out to a few folks, but they're either not interested or they indicated they were busy, and we got the holidays coming up. So, but I mean, obviously we had had Dan on and stuff like that. We really, it's really hard when this isn't your full-time job and you're not a full-time content creator or full-time podcaster. It gets difficult to do all this kind of stuff. Like, and just, and I mean, hell, I haven't even been great about the cadence of uploading shows on a regular basis. I think I forgot for 2 weeks to upload a show.
Shit happens. No, the bumper sticker shit happens.
And the stream could be glitching is because I was when I got back from the camping trip, our other router wasn't working. I had to bounce the router, and then I switched over to the other one. We have two in the house because the kids have one downstairs for them. So, and I didn't switch it back over. So if it is getting kind of bad, I will have to take a 5-minute break and basically switch over and see if that works.
So, that's another thing that we say differently, which we haven't acknowledged actually. We call it a router.
A router, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you call
and
it a router.
technically, yeah, and right. I guess it depends on if it's routing traffic or routing traffic, right? I guess that's where it comes down for me.
Yeah, yeah.
And no, it's not a mesh. See, here's the thing. I am not a hardware networking guy. I do work in IT, but I don't really get into the hardware stuff of it. And yeah, I noticed that this is the second time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and switch this out. So I'm going to go dark for probably about 2 or 3 minutes. Joe talk
Okay.
about some stuff, and I'm
Yep.
going to switch out, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Give me 1 second.
So I'm going to talk about beef tea because I feel that's appropriate. So this little bad boy, you're not allowed to put boiling water in it. Surprisingly, I had to let the water settle for 10 minutes before I put it in top. A good friend of mine, Michael Tech, said that it's weak gravy, and I guess I agree. I wouldn't put it on my roast dinner, but it's a nice drink. And Jimmy, you'll be pleased to know I have got a pint of water as well, so I am hydrating after my beef tea. I'm surprised they don't do other flavors actually, like a chicken tea.
Oh yeah,
I should look into that.
Yeah, I
Hey,
know.
he's
Well,
back.
and yeah, I'm back. So that worked out pretty good. And then also, well, we have like bouillon. That's what we call it here. So we have like a chicken and beef bouillon. Usually making it for like stews or soups or broths or kind of thing. So I'm assuming if they have a beef tea, I would assume they have maybe a chicken bovril version. They may have
I
a
haven't
chicken
seen
bovril.
it. That's my homework for next week, right? I'll check that out.
Right. We got to find out about that. So it's all good. So again, to the earlier question, I don't know if one is better. And I like the way you put it, Joe. One's what's better for you? Like, what are
Yeah.
you? And some people are okay with. And the only thing I would suggest, and I noticed this again, part of the I'd like to call it the mass exodus from iOS, the iPhone 16, but it's really not that. It's just people. Or I think they're more frustrated with the fact that it seems that Apple isn't really. It's the same conversation we're having with the people like in the Samsung, right? Samsung comes out and you saw they made a statement and basically they were acknowledging that one, we haven't been innovating and we're going to do better by our customers and the fault is on us and we need to do better and all that kind of stuff, which is great. I mean, it's a little bit more of a corporate kind of lip service thing too. Hopefully it's not, but I think for the first time, I think people that are in the iPhone camp have kind of got between like the 11 to the 16, there hasn't really been much. You're just basically upgrading year to year, and there's some small little things here and there. But I think people, it's interesting, and so people, I think also, but also because of that, kind of lack of innovation, just kind of pumping out an iPhone every year. I've noticed that people are seeing these form factors and trying, at least having the discussions. iPhone people for the first time seem like they're paying attention to foldables, flippables, Samsung, other devices, and they seem to be, in some cases, not only are they frustrated, but they're actually willing to give an Android device a try just to see if it's different from when they left. They may have left Android, they may have gone to an iPhone at like the iPhone 6. And we can all agree that the difference between obviously an iPhone 6 and an iPhone 16 versus a Note 4 versus a Galaxy S24 Ultra, that those devices are completely and utterly different. And also, I think, and I was trying to get to this point earlier, and I guess I got sidetracked. It's in the Android space, you can find the budget and the mid tier are really pretty good now. And back then, I would have said maybe 5 or 7 years ago, if you're buying a 300-pound phone or a 200 quid phone, you're probably
Sam, that goes bang on. That goes bang on for what I was going to say. Actually, right. The problem with a lot of iPhone users is right. They used a mid-range Android device 5-6 years ago, right? And that's their view on Android now. They switched to iPhone and now they like iOS. But their view on Android is what they experienced 5 years ago with a mid-range device, which is not what Android is. I mean, even the old flagship Samsungs, it's matured a lot now. Like the experience you had then to now, like TouchWiz. If you had a TouchWiz Samsung, that sucked.
Yeah. And like I said, TouchWiz was like I said, again, that nobody liked, and I don't think anybody liked it. But yeah, I think finally for the first time, I think people are thinking, and I think partly is because, and obviously with the hardware, if you look at the Pixel devices, right? You look at Pixels versus iPhones, you're finding a lot of alignment in design and software features and capability. I mean, I would say that iOS 18 and Android 15 are about as closely aligned in software capability and look and feel than they probably ever have, especially hardware wise. I mean, hell, what's the joke? Everybody who's got a Pixel 9 series is enjoying and also being made fun of the fact that it's basically an iPhone. I mean, as far as the flat sides,
in the Android space. In saying that though, have you seen the Oppo software leaks?
No.
Like it looks like it's literally copying iOS big time. Like even down to some of the graphics, like the lighting around the outside and stuff like that. It's like direct copying.
Well, I mean, and think
how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, if that's what Oppo wants to do, I mean, again, that's the beauty of the fact that you have an Android phone. Like if you're not liking the software experience, and if you think that Oppo is kind of pushing into this more iOS look, that may resonate. And actually, if you think about it, for people who are maybe trying to go from an iPhone to an Android device, maybe the Oppo is the way to go, right? You start to kind of wean them into an experience that seems to them from a software or UI perspective to be something that they're familiar with, right? And you can kind of start to kind of, nudge them along. But I mean, I even seen that there are some, I even see a lot of people that, at least on the if you go launcher for Android, you search on the store, there's a couple of ones that are basically essentially iOS clones, and they get pretty good reviews. Now, I don't know if they're actually a functionally good launcher. I've never installed one of them, but they seem to get better. They seem to get pretty good reviews as far as info for people like that. Maybe that is the kind of the little golden books of kind of coming back into the Android fold, right? It's not such a jarring.
For me,
Sam, OS experience, yeah.
For me, Sam, like the looks of iOS, I don't hate the looks of iOS. It's the functionality for me. So it's the navigation, the file management. So if you're only taking the looks and animations off Apple, but you've still got the functionality of Android, I'm all for it. I don't really care. As long as it functions like an Android device still. Because that's my issue. I don't hate iOS. That's what I want to make clear. Because it always makes it sound like we hate them, don't we? But we don't hate iOS. We just hate elements of it.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't even call it hate. I would just say I'm disappointed because there are things that I would really love to do with my with an iPhone. That I mean, and granted, my only experience fairly recently is the fact that I have a bank phone, so I can't really do much on that. But it's not really hate. It's just that things like the especially if you have a foldable device, multitasking and split screening and casting the screen. Those are kind of things. I know you don't use those all the time, and I understand that that's probably not a reason to buy a phone. But it's when you have it and you've used it and you find some utility and you find some functionality there, it kind of stinks to go back to a device that doesn't have that, and it seems like they aren't prioritizing that. Which again, they have to go with based on what their customers want. And it seems to be up until probably 6 months ago, I would have told you that people who use iOS could give two rips about any of that stuff. I will tell you though, it seems to me that now I think they're starting to, and maybe if not care, maybe that's not a driving purchasing factor, but they are starting to notice. And that's the first time that I've seen people, and maybe they'd noticed before, but they noticed in silence, right? They never said anything. I'm starting to see a lot of videos on social media platforms and stuff where people are like, I'm going to try this Samsung Z Flip 6. I'm going to see if it's pretty good and, and see where it goes. And people are more often than not, they seem to be pretty happy with it. Yeah, I see a lot more Pixel users too. I just went camping and my my friend, he had LG devices for a long time, and he stayed with him. He switched to Samsung totally. He likes he has an S22 Ultra, I think. I can't remember. Yeah, and then my other buddy's got an S23 Ultra. She was at when she got out of the LG and they were kind of going away, and she didn't really want another LG. I suggested getting her a Pixel. She got the Pixel 4 XL, and absolutely fell in love with the device. She loves her Pixels. She takes a lot of photographs though, but she just upgraded. She's got an 8. I think she's got an 8 now. So she's got one like me. I didn't take it on the camping trip because I was kind of in the middle. Again, and this, please, Pixel. I mean, maybe there's a reason why this is. Google, can you please fix trying to update a Pixel is like a 4-day event? Can we please do something to make that better? God damn, that drives me crazy, man. I tried to do it before I was leaving, and I just could not get the data. I was okay with getting the data wipe back to off the beta to Android 14. Maybe if I could sneak it in before we left on Friday. Maybe I could, but it just was like stuck, and it would not. It's like 3 hours for it to do it. I'm like, this is just too long for us.
Pixel said no.
Yeah, it's just like, I can't do it. And Pixel said, nah, who cares? $299 for an iQOO. Yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, that's a $300 phone, and then you got the Nothing phones. They're pretty good. I mean, for a $250 to $400 device, back then, if you spent that kind of money, you were going to get a phone that was really, really not usable or severely handicapped. Nowadays, you can get some pretty good deals. Satellite is Pioneer, but S7 Edge, yeah. I mean, S7 Edge is a great phone. Peter's got he's got an Oppo X6 Pro. It's very good. It is very good.
Great phone, yeah.
Yeah. BBK.
Not only is it a great phone, it looks beautiful as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I do nothing, and so got home from a trip to a local state park. Yeah, full. Yeah, and so I definitely suggested my wife get the 16 Pro because I want her to have the extra camera. So
Lauren's got a 16 Pro now. She has set up today.
Yeah, so she seems to like it. She took some pictures with it. So yeah, I think that there's some. I mean, and again, if you're a photography centric person, that there's some upgrades there for sure. What else we got? Yeah, fellow Pixel users, they're there. You got to look for them, and that's why I like the fact that the phone is easily identifiable. You can kind of glance over, you can kind of see a fellow Pixel user, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Well, I think he sells them off and stuff. I think he flips them out. I don't know. I mean, I don't think he keeps them all. I maybe he does. He might have one of those people that's got like drawers or shelves full of Android and iOS devices. I don't think so, but we'll see. I did not. I have never actually. The last tablet I have is that old that Nexus tablet. I'm not a tablet user. A lot of people are. It doesn't work for me. I mean,
Samsung S8 Ultra. I'm still on. I could do with upgrading it, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's all good. So Michael's just watching some football. And I think he's talking about American football. I don't think he's watching English football. It's Sunday, so it's football season.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about football this week.
Oh, I know. Probably something bad.
Yep.
Yeah. And let's see. Almost caught up with comments. Oh, what I thought was, wish they'd be landscape on a home screen and larger iPhones. Yeah. Yeah, it's those little things that when you're using iPhones and you're using Android devices, it's little things like that throughout your day that you just got used to using on Android, and they just aren't there or they don't work consistently on iOS, and that's what happens. And Simon's in the chat. It's okay. You didn't have to get a notification. You show up. Remember, we try to do this on a schedule, so we try to make sure that you're available. So hey, don't worry about it, man. I don't know what the deal is with the notifications. I know Joe put out a Twix. I get the notifications, but not all the time. It's a little. I would say spotty. Spotty would be probably the best descriptor of the notifications from YouTube. Let's see if I did get them. Yeah, well, I got it. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean,
you got it.
Yeah.
When did you get that?
28 minutes ago, right when we started.
That's not bad.
Yeah. No, it's not bad at all. So, I mean, I'm sorry. Well, anyways. Well, we appreciate Simon swinging on by as always, and we're sticking to the Xperia 1.5 until they private. Right, and then I think that's because, and then obviously we need to get the captain back on sometime soon. Yep. I don't think. Oh, and I'm just gonna tell everybody. It just occurred to me about trying to get him on. I am not available next Sunday. It is the Christmas party. Jesus fucking Christ! it's the Halloween party at the club. They do it on a Sunday, so
Okay.
that'll be the day. And I like working them because that's the day I get to dress up. And it'll be nice because this year I'm actually working the bar, and I'll be dressed up in my same costume that I have at my costume from Dodgeball. That's Average Joe's. So I'll be doing that. So we will, unless we want to do a show on Saturday, we'll have to talk about Joe, and I haven't had a chance to talk. Maybe we'll do one of those Saturday.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, we'll see how his schedule goes. We don't know, but yeah, I got a notification, but I will tell you that they aren't consistent. I get them. I'd say probably at like a 7 out of 10 clip, probably if I'm being real. If you're who are you using as a cloud storage? I have OneDrive because I've got a terabyte of storage. Yeah, I got literally, and I don't even have anywhere. I don't even think I've used 500 meg. Or no, I
was going to say you're not using much of that, right?
I have. Well, I mean, I've used it for years, and I've moved a bunch of stuff on there. So it's not photos I've taken within the last 5 years. It's a lot of like old stuff that I had. I think I've used. Well, I can tell you exactly how much I have. Let's see. OneDrive personal settings. I have used 185.2 gigabytes of 1 terabyte. You have a terabyte.
Okay. Yeah. Do you share that with any family members, or is that just purely you?
That's just purely for archival and storage purposes. I don't really share. I mean, every once in a while I'll kick a photo off to somebody else, but it's really just archival and storage.
No, I mean, like, do you share that storage space, or is that all your?
No, it's all. Well, I mean, no, it's all mine. That's a personal OneDrive. So, and Becky has her own account, and I think she, yeah, so she does that. So we'll see. Yeah, so she has her own account, but I think she only gets the 15 gig or whatever the base store. I mean, if you just sign up for it, I've got the terabyte. So, yeah, of course they are. I mean, they're $1 trillion companies. Of course they are. That's the point of a company.
Yeah.
And again, now I think they should do it above board. They should do it correctly. They should obviously pay attention to customers and those kind of things. But at the end of the day, I mean, I can't begrudge a company for having a profit margin and being profit centric. I mean, that's the way it goes. Yeah, Savannah Bananas. So they're coming to St. Louis, and you have to get on a lottery list to even get the tickets. So we signed up.
What is that?
Okay, Savannah Bananas. How can I describe this to a person in the UK? I don't even think it's possible. But, so yeah, so.
But it's popular, right?
Yeah. So see, you have to do this. Savannah Bananas. Your ticket. Yeah, I had to sign up. Okay, so it's a Savannah Bananas. Okay, so think of it. It's a minor league baseball team. So you would think about. So I don't know how it is in the Premier League or in the League One, right? In those leagues, are they really development leagues or are they just lower leagues, right? In the United States, they're the single A, the triple A, double A, like minor league baseball, really are supposed to be a progression league, right? You started like rookie league, rookie ball, progress to double A, single A, single A, double A, triple A, and then you make it to the show, right? The major leagues, right? And so the Savannah Bananas, and I can't remember. Obviously, they're in Georgia, Savannah, Georgia. It's a minor league, but I don't know if they're an affiliate of somebody or they're just independent. It's basically they have become kind of famous. They have become kind of famous for basically doing dancing and like shtick, right? So basically, they're a baseball team. And so what they do is they like dance, and if like
it sounds like very American.
It's the most American thing you can probably imagine, right? I can't imagine another thing. However, so they've gotten, of course, because of TikTok and everything else, they have become this sensation online. Yeah, and so I mean, they had the stadium there, and usually like minor league teams, their stadiums hold maybe 2,000 people. This thing was so packed, they literally like. They just couldn't do anything. It was just like getting a ticket was absolutely it was impossible. And people had season tickets, so those folks who had season tickets were probably in a good show, in a good place, right? And so now they're going on tour, and you have to basically get a lottery ticket. And it's because that's how it's pretty nuts. It's pretty crazy.
See Simon's comment.
Yeah.
They're supporting Hannah Montana.
Yeah, they're supporting Hannah Montana. There you go. I mean, that's all you need to know right there. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. But if you want to look it up, folks, I'm not going to do the homework for you. If you really are interested in Savannah Bananas, just look online. They have a TikTok. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Do they sell replica kits as well? Like,
yeah, you could be a full kit wanker if you want to. I don't know about getting the pants. I don't know about getting the pants. But you might be able to get the shirts for sure, or the spikes. You get in the helmet. You could probably be a full kit wanker. I don't think you'd want to.
Full kit wanker with a helmet.
Right, with a helmet. Yeah, and so it's pretty interesting. Let's see where we go here. So holy crap!
So Sam, they're like feeder clubs for the leagues above, right? So because they don't get promoted or anything, so their players just eventually step up. They're like feeder clubs, but then below them they'll step up as well to replenish their players. Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Well, I mean, it's also a league that you can play. It's also a lot of players too. If they get injured and they have rehab assignments, they'll go into the minor leagues and rehab.
Get some game time, but it's less strenuous.
Right, and so I think it's the same kind of thing. So this team basically got pretty. First of all, they're called the Savannah Bananas, and they have bright yellow uniforms, which is kind of funny. But usually, most American minor league baseball teams have really kind of weird names, like like the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, and they got goofy names and stuff like that.
Why is that? Like what is
I don't know. So you should just do like minor league baseball. And the funny thing is, I don't even know if they're in a league. I have not really so I don't so okay, so here. This is here. We'll just fuck it. We're here, right? Let's go ahead.
Scoop's just joined the chat. I want to hear his side of what he thinks of Savannah Bananas.
So here's part of their website. So as you can see, this dude is wearing a proper top, but then he's got a kilt.
I was gonna say, is that a kilt?
Yeah, it's a kilt, and he's got shorts. And they do dances to games. They've danced to it. Every game we have a 3-3-2, which stands for third inning, second batter, second pitch. There's a unique in-game pre-pitch dances that have combined with So they do that, and they play in kilts. They'll play in kilts. I don't think they do it all the time, but there you go. They have walk-ups. Okay, in American baseball. As the batter comes to the plate, they call it walk-up music. They'll play a song, right? This country or the hip-hop or whatever. Everybody has a walk-up song, so they all have walk-up songs and that kind of thing.
Sounds like wrestling now, man.
It's pretty wild. It first of all, they have a pitcher that throws on stilts, right? And people it's completely it's nuts. I mean, they have.
So is this a circus?
It's kind of like it's. Minor league baseball always has kind of a real kind of carnival atmosphere, right? They got dumb stuff like bed races, and the kids run around. They between innings they have the kid. It's a lot more family.
Sounds fun. Sounds fun.
Dude, minor league baseball is so much fun. As a matter of fact, I almost enjoy it more than going to Cardinal games. There's one across the river over in Granite City, Illinois. It's called the Gateway Grizzlies. They're actually technically in Sauget. And I go to Grizzly games, at least 4 or 5 Grizzly games a year. First of all, the beer is cheap. Food's pretty cool. You can get really close seats. And it's like $12. It's nuts. And now, granted, it's not even A-ball. It's rookie leagues. It's like below A-ball. So I don't know how. It's a few levels down. And most of the guys that are playing are never going to probably even make the minor leagues, much less the major leagues, right? So it's pretty cool. They have a baby that dresses. I don't know what's going on.
So Sam, do these guys, are they professional? Do they get paid, or do they have other jobs?
Well, maybe when they first started, maybe they didn't. But they're sure making a whole bunch of money now. I mean, I guarantee you. Well, and it's fine because
so they're pros then, right?
They're not even professionals. They're really it's a minor league team. So most of these guys, I don't think they're. And like I said, I have to look into the history because usually they're part of a league, right? So, if you would go and do something like Gateway Grizzlies, like this is an actual like minor league team, right? But they do all sorts of stuff like spooky ball, and they'll have like trick or treating and all this other kind of stuff, right? But they're actually part of a league, right? So they're part of the Frontier League, right?
Yeah.
And and so they're actually technically could be a feeder league, but I don't. Some of these people do actually get into the major leagues, but these are more of actual teams. The Savannah Bananas sound like more of kind of like a team that was like a barn. It's kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters. It kind of has that kind of vibe to it. I don't know if you know
Okay.
that's the basketball.
Yeah,
thing.
of course I know. Yeah, they're
So
more about their skills and rather than their actual
right. And so I think
play.
that's what it is. But anyways, so if they weren't making money before, they sure as hell are now. If you're going to get onto if you can't buy tickets and now they're going on tour, so they're going to Busch Stadium in St. Louis, and so Becky, you try to get tickets and you have to sign up for this lottery. So we may not even have a chance to even buy these damn things. And I'm sure if we do, they're probably not going to be, they're not going to be the $12 minor league baseball prices. That's not going to happen. They're kind of expensive.
Yeah, that's kind of mad.
That's okay. It's all right. Savannah Bananas. Yeah. So, yeah, there he is. Okay. So full kit, Oasis wankers, and bowl cuts. Fucking mad for that. Yeah. It's going to be great. Just walking down.
Yeah, that's the one.
Good
Sam.
one. Yeah.
What was that one?
Fucking good man. Yeah, they just he's just going down here and he's he's walking down. He's got the parka, fucking parka man. Yeah, he's just zipped up, right? And it's just if they do an Oasis night, there'd be a bunch of Liam and Noam Gallagher's dressed up walking around. I don't think that really is the kind of music they like to dance and perform to, but maybe they would. I mean, Wonderwall would be a little. I don't know, because Wonderwall's not great. Rocket City Trash Pandas for the win. There you go. They're in their own league. Okay. Well, then if that's if they're in their own league, yeah. So they're a Texas team playing next season too. Yeah, so it's cool. Party Animals, yeah. So it's definitely pretty good. I've never seen them. Oh, they're competitive games. When I meant by the Globetrotters, I meant more I don't think they're part of an actual league. And they're not like Frontier League. They're not Rookie League. I don't think they're A-ball. I don't think they have an affiliate, although I saw there was an Atlanta Braves logo, but I don't think they're an affiliate to an actual AA or single A or AAA team. I don't even know what league they're in. So I have to kind of look and see. But that's cool. Yeah, Kilton baseball. Beer consumption. Oh, yeah, dude. Because it's slow. It's a slow-paced game, right? It's not like football, right? It's not like basketball. It's not like ice hockey. It's baseball is a lot more of a very kind of slower paced. Not anyway, it's a different kind of sport, but yeah, I agree. Simon's right. That's where you get pints of Guinness or Bovril. You could drink Bovril if you don't want to drink the beer, right? You can.
Do they have it there?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
They have Bovril there.
No, dude. No. I wish they would, because if I could just get it commercially, locally, I would just go buy the stuff. Yeah, it's a private club. Okay, so yeah, they're basically a private team. Okay, that's cool. And I get it. Outfield's catch a ball. Yeah, they flip and shit. Guys are flipping around. They're making a really kind of acrobatic, really kind of. It's really, again, the games are competitive. I agree with Scoop, but it's really more of kind of a performative team to kind of make baseball fun and interesting. Again, you take on these other minor league teams and you try to get them on a tour. Nobody's going to those games. People I've had people who aren't even baseball people go, man, have you seen the Savannah Bananas? They're pretty wild. Yeah, I know. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, anything that gets any interest, I'm in. Malik's in the chat. Hey, Malik, how are you, sir? Welcome to the chat. Good seeing you as always. I saw the Pirates play in Pittsburgh. Met the refs in the bar, party all night, dropped off in a limo. Oh, yeah. They'll baseball players, they will usually, after a game, if you're paying attention and you're lucky enough, they will go to a local pub, tavern, place, get some food after the game, head out. And these people, again, they don't play till 7:00 in the evening sometimes, and if they don't have a day game. And some of these guys are prone to going out and kind of party a little bit. They're young, 20-something, early 30s guys, right? They want to get around. They're traveling too, and plus they know that they're going to be popular because they're professional sports athletes, so very popular people. Yeah, Pirates are good, and that baseball stadium's pretty good. PNC's nice. Anyway, yes, I do. Champagne Supernova is a great jam. I like Oasis, so come at me. Anyway,
I like Oasis.
So switching gears. I guess this is going to be an interesting topic, or maybe a possible controversial topic. So you've been seeing what's been going on with the Ace Lucero, right? What has been that?
Yeah,
I kind of caught that on the flip side. I wasn't really paying much attention to it. Apparently, that's causing quite a
it's quite a stir. So it's something you can do in YouTube. It's promoting your videos. So it's paid. It's a paid service to promote your videos. I guess in depending how much you pay, you gain subs or views or whatever. Do you know what? I don't know. I don't really care if someone wants to do that, all for them. But I wouldn't personally want to do that. I'd rather grow organically and I don't know. What's your feelings on it?
I guess the first thing is I don't really care.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm not gonna, and here's the thing. I saw this kind of, there's some going back and forth about people who are really saying that's kind of a, cheating. I think that's a little harsh.
Do you know where it's cheating? It's because I guess the idea is getting brand recognition, getting product. But I mean that's on the brands as well, though, right? So they have to do their research.
Brands, and also, but here's the thing: a lot of, and I've listened to a lot of creators talking about how brands reach out to them and some of the kind of stupid crap they try to pull. So you know what? It's like, well, if they get hosed on it and they think they're getting a creator that's got 150,000 subs when it really only has very minimal or limited engagement, and they're just looking at numbers, they don't want to do their due diligence. Fuck them. That's their ass.
That's on them, yeah.
Because they've had a lot of people that have real engagement, like Adam Matlock, who has real engagement, right? Some of these creators have really good engagement, and they're out to make videos. And we want creative oversight, and then we also we're going to do this one for free. I'm like, yeah, kick sand. So those companies try to pull all sorts of bullshit all the time. So I don't care if a company and a brand's trying to get out there and get creative. And if they don't have enough energy to look at the actual creator and look at things and do some digging and seeing, wow, this person maybe doesn't have the bona fides that they should. They don't have an organically grown channel with an actual engagement. That's on them. And if they don't have the time to look into it, then, if they lose money or they get a creator thinking they're going to get hundreds of thousands of subs and they really only have 100 people that really pay attention because the rest of them are bought from bot farms or what. But here's the thing. Some games have, rules against bot farming, right? And you can't log in and buy gold and all that. It's illegal, right? There's terms of service for the games, right? You can't break those. YouTube doesn't seem to care about this. So really at the end of the day is if the platform that you're hosting the videos and you're trying to get the engagement from, if they don't seem to give a shit about it, why should I care?
That's because the promotion is through them. So you pay YouTube to have the promotion. I don't know if that's what he's used. I don't know the ins and outs, but that's what.
So I guess my question is like I just think it's funny how, and I'm speaking as not a person who feels that we're in that community. I don't feel like we're in a tech community space. We're podcasters. We're podcasters. At the end of the day, I mean, obviously, you're trying to do videos and trying to grow that channel. And
I got 60 subs.
I know it's pretty good. Well, I mean, hell,
I'm pleased with it. My target is 100 by the end of the year, so to be at 60 is pretty good.
Right, and so at the end of the day, I mean, you got that. But for me, and when I say no offense, I mean it's nothing. I would like to review a phone or maybe do an unboxing, but when it comes to actually having a channel, I have if I could have negative interest in doing it, I would. It sounds like such a pain in the ass and a hassle. And I'm just not. And here's the thing. There's a million people who are really good at it. Go listen to those folks. The Adam Matlocks, the Shane Craigs, those kind of folks, right? Scoop does great work. His photography is great. You got the Tech Preacher does great work. They talk about phones. There's Gigi. There's Barry John. There's thousands of creators right out there who are really good that are in that 6,000 or 5,000 to 20,000 neighborhood. And then if you want to get crazy and you want to kind of step up your game, then you can see creators like Adam Matlock and them growing to hundreds of thousands. El Jefe, right? There's so many people who are so good. Techspert. There's so many people who are so good at it. I don't even want to be. I don't care. I don't want to be involved in that. It's just, I like having the ability to be an observer and a consumer. I like the fact that I can just sit back and just make this podcast and I can talk about literally whatever I want. For the most part, we can talk about any topic.
Bananas.
We spend 10 minutes talking about the Savannah Bananas, and most of the people in the chat are British. They don't even have a clue what the hell I'm talking about, right? So the fact that, it's but the thing is, if you make a comment about how you feel, like some people really, it rubbed them the wrong way that he's bought subs, right? Some people really have some kind of like feeling about that, and the fact that you can't
I
make a
understand that.
comment, right? And you can't, but you also, it's like all you can do is support fellow creators. You cannot say, "Hey, man, I think what you're doing is kind of trash. I ain't
Yeah.
about that life." Like, and if you do that, then everybody says, "Well, how can you shit on another creator?" I was like, "Look, folks, first of all, this is no den of thieves, right? There's no bargaining agreement. There is no nothing. And at the end of the day, creators they do support. I think they do support each other, but they all have different opinions about what they want to do with their channel and what they feel is growing that channel and whatever they have to do.
I get both sides of the story, right? So like the people that dislike it, they're grinding, trying to do it organically, and they're grinding hard to do it. But on the flip side, it's up to them, I guess, if they want to pay for promotions.
Well, I mean, to them, maybe it's more of a business, right? Maybe that
Yeah.
I get subs, I get engagement, I make more money from those engagements, and that kind of snowballs. Maybe that's it. Again,
I don't think it's right
know.
that that's available to people promoting it officially via YouTube. I don't think it's right, but who cares, man?
Well, I guess we don't clearly here, and we're not making passing judgment. I have nothing against. I don't even know Ace Leacher. I have no idea. I've heard.
For me, Sam,
listened, huh?
Right, for me, Sam, right? People that do that will get found out eventually.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I mean, people are going to definitely, be paying attention to the Delta, right? And at the end of the day, it's like, again, that's something I wouldn't do, but it's not me. Like, I'm not that guy. But we're not sure. I can guarantee you there's one thing that the Nomad Tech Project won't do is buy subs, because we don't need them, because we're not going to have them. I mean, we try to do our thing, and I like having the community we have and that kind of thing. And if people listen and they find some value in it and they enjoy it, that's great. If they don't, that's okay too.
But saying that, I do buy subs sometimes. It's a great place called Subway.
Yeah, we buy the food. We the subs, the grinders, right? We buy those.
Good old footlong. We buy the proper subs.
Right, we're talking about food. Like, what really matters, not buying subs on YouTube. But yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, if it, and again, if it's inorganic and the way it works, and they don't get watch time and all the other metrics, that they're supposed to get, again, eventually it'll just kind of plateau, and that's it. And who knows? Again, I just, what I didn't like was the commentary that people may feel a certain way about it, and they may actually try to say, "Hey, I don't agree with that. I don't think that's a proper way to do business. I think it's kind of sketchy or shady or whatever." And if you say that, then all these people come by and go, "How dare you? He's trying to." It's like, you know what? How dare I? First of all, I have no allegiance to any of these people. And I say that, and I'm not trying to be flip, right?
So it heats up though. Did you hear he's posted that he wants to get to 1 million?
Yeah, okay, I don't care. Yeah, sure, and I like to be 7'5" and play in the NBA, but there's something you can't do, right? But what I'm saying though is, it's like, but you have allegiance to none of these people. If they are decent people and they're good creators that are trying to help out other creators and pull them up the ladder, right? People that are, that kind of thing. Sure. But they don't owe allegiance to any of you, and they have no reason to do so. And if they don't, like, I've reached out to people and they flat told us, "Look, we're not interested. We don't care about your show." I mean, clearly, if I was a show that had 10 or 15,000 active listeners every day, or we were streaming and we had, I think that obviously their response to my inquiry and ask would be a whole lot different. It's not personal, folks. And then here's the thing.
That's the thing that they don't like, is the fact that it's deceiving people potentially.
Not really. Maybe it's deceiving general people who are watching YouTube, but I don't think it's deceiving anybody. Clearly, it didn't take long for people to figure out what they think is going on. But what I'm saying though is, to the other point is, I don't expect people, when we ask anybody to come on the show, they have every right to say yes, and they have every right to say no. And it may be personal, folks. There may be people here, folks, listening to this chat, folks listening in the space. Somebody may not come on your show because they don't like you.
Yeah.
That's possible, right? They don't like you. They don't think you're entertaining. They don't like the way you look. They only want to talk to a certain gender, a certain race, a certain ethnicity, a certain nationality.
Or if you've really made it, they come on your show even if they don't like you.
Right.
Just
Right.
be an ass.
Just to get in your wheelhouse. And hey, you know what? I'll say, hey, if anybody comes on this show, and if they come on the show just to specifically try to give me the business, I welcome all that smoke. Bring it on. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, it's like I don't really care. I've been rejected. We've not only in my this life, but in my professional life, my personal life. And that's the way it is. Some people just don't rock with you. It's okay. They don't have to. It's fine. But these people, it's like every time they get slighted by somebody, how dare somebody so-and-so, such and such tell me to go? Like, because they don't care. And now if they're stealing, now at the end of the day, I saw somebody said that Mr. Who's the Boss was stealing some kind of content or whatever and sent him a cease and desist. I mean, if you're stealing content or intellectual property or you're stealing content, okay, well, that's a legal situation.
That's really bad, yeah.
But nobody owes you shit in this world, folks. They don't owe you anything. And so if they come on the show, cool. And if they come on the show and they want to give their opinion and it's even if it's contentious, I'm okay with that. I'm not out here thinking that only my opinion matters and even I'm right. I'm willing to listen to anybody, even if I'm dead 100% wrong. If somebody can come in here and make an argument, I will love to listen. Even if I don't necessarily agree, I will still give them the respect about coming on. So
I need to set the record straight, Peter, right? I haven't bought a Subway for many years, actually. It was just for the purpose of my joke.
Right. I have not a Subway sandwich, not but I have had subs at other places, and they're pretty cool. Have I considered catting your hair, getting tattoos, and started about vaccines and eating shrooms? The hair is, I don't know. Tattoos, I've thought about it. I thought about getting one, and I'm not talking about vaccines. Like I'm assuming like COVID, and I don't care. Eating shrooms. I'm not into drugs. It's not my thing. I tried some stuff when I was a younger person, and it didn't work out really great. I don't think drugs are my thing. And so that's not against anybody else. If you're into recreational weed and you want to shroom every once in a while, or you want to kind of wax or vape or take opium rectally, whatever. I don't care. Just don't drive a car.
Beef tea in the sun. Whatever you want to do.
Sun, right. And if you want to put a little with some MDMA in it, some Molly in there, and you want to kind of have a wild time at the matches, hey man, just realize
that would be a Beef Tea Ultra or Beef Tea XL, wouldn't
it? XL Pro Max. That would be a Pro Max Beef Tea.
Pro Max, yeah, it'd be Pro Max.
Pro Max, Bro Pro Max, right? No, I'm not doing any of that because I don't care.
No.
Hey, Tuna's in the chat. I know they were talking about specifically this thing. So, folks, if you really want to know, I think somebody asked about.
I thought they were live now.
They probably are. I don't know.
I'm confused.
I don't know.
Have you seen their thumbnail? Have you seen
they're coming at dude. I will tell you this, man. I mean, they're called the Tech Disruptors, and go check those guys out.
If you're listening, Tech Disruptors, check them out.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Again, I like them. You may not like them. You think maybe they come out here and they're throwing a bunch of shade and about that life. Hey, man, look, some of these people need to get checked, and if they're the ones that want to bring the noise, bring the funk, that's cool.
Joe,
I try to come with more of a different approach to things like that. But their thumbnail is they're coming out swinging.
Joe, they've got a great sense of humor. Like, I don't think they're trying to be malicious or anything. They're just having fun, I mean, their name is Tech Disruptors, so
and here's the thing, and I think they made. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think sometimes they are provocative just to try to get the conversation started, right? And I think I don't think they're coming up with these takes because I don't think they're like, I really don't believe that, but we got to kind of generate a bunch of like fake.
No.
No, they're legitimately. They think those things are. And here's the thing: what you have to understand is if you happen to walk that path, you will be shut out. You will be castigated. You will be tossed aside. You will be. You will not see growth, or people may not come on your show because they're figuring if I step out of line, the Tech Disruptors are going to come in here and make me a thumbnail, right? But I think it has a place. I think negative commentary for the fact that they're calling out things that they perceive to be either inappropriate, wrong, not a way to do business, and they have personal engagement with Ace. I think Ace used to be on. They had a show on Twix or whatever. So their Ace isn't totally unknown to them. That's something that I think they used to talk to. I've been on. I think I was on a show with him one time.
Yeah.
He really went into a political bend. Again, I don't get down like that. I don't tell people about those kind of things, but I respect his right to, if he wants to move in that, talking about a 2A space or he's a right-wing space. If you think that generates the content you want, you're willing to go down that path, hey man, that's fine. I just don't move like that.
Yeah.
And that's all. He's edited some, he's going to listen. So, Joe Rogan, we're not, I like Joe Rogan. I mean, I know everybody, I mean, that's just a personal take. I like Joe Rogan. Do I agree with everything he says or does? No. Generally, do I think but his show is entertaining. I haven't listened to a 3-hour podcast before. I've listened to some of Joe Rogan's podcasts, and some of those are really fascinating conversations. I really think I understand that not every bit of his content is going to be palatable for most folks. I realize everything else, but he has some interviews with some of these people that are really fascinating. And I think you're doing yourself a disservice that you should not, you should enjoy that, I think. They're going at 7:30 Eastern. Okay. Okay, cool. Well, hell, maybe if I'm fucking around, maybe I'll join. That's cool. So anyway, I think there's a space for everybody. And I don't like the narrative that you can't have anything either neutral or negative to say about a creator's approach to something. I think that if you're bringing receipts, I realize that there is one creator that I used to be a fan of, and I'm never going to mention his name, and it's a him, by the way. He was a complete jerk to me in a comment one time, and I thought it was uncalled for and it was ridiculous. And ever since he did that, I've not listened to his channel. And he is pretty popular. I mean, there are people who, and I've come across people who really told me that this person, somebody they really get down with. I'm like, that's fine. I wouldn't piss in this guy's mouth if his teeth were on fire. Because I just don't think that that's how you should treat somebody. Again, you can have a disagreement.
Dissect that. Teeth on fire.
Yeah. No, you ever heard that statement? You wouldn't piss in his mouth if his teeth were on fire? Yeah.
No, not normally. Yeah. No.
No, it's and like I said,
we say if someone was on fire as a whole, not teeth.
Yeah, but if you had a fire in your mouth, I wouldn't urinate in your mouth to put it out. Right. Yeah. So I thought his approach, I thought his comment was kind of rude. And there's another person who's actually a pretty famous YouTuber that I kind of used to listen to, and every time I had an engagement, he always had something slick to say in his comments, like he was some kind of authority on shit. I'm like, maybe you are, I don't know. Again, I will disagree with somebody, but I always stick to the facts of my argument. I never delve into something, what I think would be a personal attack or isn't a personal attack, but it straddles a line between something that I think is not appropriate to say to somebody you don't know. I mean, some of these people, let's be honest with you, this is the way the internet goes. You're way too comfortable saying shit to people who you don't know and disrespecting people. I guarantee you, these two people would have said it to my face if we're in a conversation, because I probably would have smoked both of them. Because one of them, I know I'm probably physically bigger than, and I'm about violence if it has to come to that sometimes, probably. If somebody's going to disrespect me like that and go that stupid, you may have to catch hands.
Was that bad then?
No, I'm just saying, but I think people, they live behind the anonymity and they live behind the safety.
Oh, yeah. People live behind their keyboards and screens.
And I think if you're in a situation where you're going to be openly disrespectful to somebody who you don't know and you don't know what their backstory or capable of is, I think that's a bad look. I think people really, and I assume that everybody I'm having contact with, especially personally, I treat them with the same level of respect and dignity until they decide to show their colors and they're not a generally honorable person. And then I will tell them so. I don't know. I just don't think that, people are way too comfortable being disrespectful to others. And I really think that you don't have to agree with people. You don't even have to see eye to eye. You could really be really against their position, right? I mean, it's like some of these people you can be like, especially when you're talking about, political or anything that's going around the world, Palestinian conflict, Ukraine, I mean, elections, right, in the UK, Starmer, whoever, think people are really on diametrically opposed positions, right?
Yeah.
But I really, at the end of the day, think that, you just have to kind of pick your battles. And I'm not you only have so many bullets in your elephant gun, folks. And I just don't think that you should, if you're going to start that kind of fight, there may be consequences to that, and you can't cry when it doesn't go your way or people don't see it your way. You have to kind of just, if you're out there if you're in that space, you might take a couple of hits on the chin, and you're going to have to deal with that, and you can't cry foul when it comes back and blows back on you. That's all.
Well, I would say, if you ever called out and found to be wrong, just admit you're wrong. Yeah.
Because really, if you're wrong, think about it. You'd learn something. Like you might be talking, and you may have an opinion, and maybe it's half baked, or you don't have
all the time.
Well, yeah, me too. I mean, we're husbands, so chances are we're probably going to screw up something, right?
Oh, but we're wrong every minute.
Right. But what I'm saying though is, it's to me, when when somebody I make a statement and somebody goes, "No, you're wrong, and here's why," and they come up with something, I'm going, wow, that's actually, again, you have to I think you have to be able to suspend your ego a little bit, and you have to be able to listen to the fact that at the end of the day, you should be learning or trying to learn or getting the other
Listening's a big skill in life.
Yeah. And I agree with Jimmy. Reasonable minds can always disagree, but BS is always BS. Absolutely. 100% agree with that. We have the name. We have the name of the episode. I'm into violence, no more context. Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying. I mean, again, I say that in kind of a jesting way. But I mean, I've been in situations where people, I've seen people just kind of talk to each other. I'm like, man, you don't know if this person has a weapon. You don't know if this person has a temper problem. I mean, I don't know if I would. I've never gotten into it with anybody in public, like at a store or in traffic. I mean, I do kind of laugh at people when they drive like stupid. But I don't I wouldn't even imagine like driving side by side and giving the finger and yelling, screaming at people. I'm like,
we're more about being Mr. Bean on the top of the car.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's all good. Again, it's just folks, just again, be willing to be wrong, be willing to have somebody talk to you. And if you're really wanting to engage in a real conversation with like a real adult, and try to approach it from trying to be enlightened and try to get as much information as you can, and realize that you may not be right. Chances are you probably aren't right, but it's okay. Just let it go. And like I said, I've learned
sometimes you have to agree to disagree.
Right. And sometimes you realize it's just, you make your point, they make their point. There's no really compromise, and you just, walk away. And, there are people like it. I thought that these two individuals, when they made comments, they were talking from an area of superiority, like they were some kind of important person because they had so many of these YouTube subscriptions, and they really aren't anybody to any, and I'm unwilling to. You
should have said, do you know who I am? I'm Sam from the Nomad Tech Project.
Right. Well, this is the one gentleman that I had this interaction with. This was probably 10 years ago. So it's quite a while.
He regrets it now because now it's being mentioned on a podcast.
I don't think that's a thing. And he has not been on the show, and I would not reach out to him. But I don't know. It's just one of those things where I just think you should have it. Like I said, civil conversations, right? And sometimes they're going to get contentious, and people are going to they're going to feel a certain way because they're going to bring, they're going to feel a certain way, and that's okay. I mean, you can feel a certain way, but just remember, for a choice, a consequence. If you decide to go down that path, you may, if you make a choice to buy subs, realize that there may be people who don't give a shit. There may be people who think it's a thing you can do or should do because, hey, the rules, YouTube lets you. So, you know what I mean? Or there's some people who realize that some people are going to see you do that, and they're going to kind of roast you on it. And if you're in a public space, that's the beauty and the curse of being in the public sphere, right? If you're a person who's, doing those kind of things, and you're a creator that has a lot of influence, a lot of subs, you no longer operate in a vacuum. And if you say something that is, that could cause controversy, or if you say something that could be, that some people may say, hey, I don't agree with your take, and I don't think you're right. I think you're dead wrong, and here's why. I think that you should be able to voice that opinion. And if you get all up in your feelings about it, well, then you may want to take a look and see why you're getting all up in your feelings about it. Maybe you're taking it too personal for something that's not appropriate, or maybe not.
Yeah.
Again, just try to Don't be a dick, right? And it's okay to disagree, but just don't be an asshole. Mm-hmm. So, were you in one of Techspert's videos recently?
I highly doubt it.
Maybe he shows like little clips and stuff when he's reviewing phones and stuff like that. Maybe you stuck into one of his. I don't know. If you could, if you can tell us where that was, that would be cool.
I highly doubt it. I'd love to be.
I have reached out to Chris Barclaw, and he's just super busy. And the guy is just super, super, super busy.
He's really busy now.
Content, and it's just, I mean, to get an hour of his time is really, really hard to do.
Plus, remember, he needs drinking time as well.
Right, he needs time to hydrate.
Yeah.
Again, on his Techspert Weekly. Is it recently? Oh, okay. Mr. V navigated the city whilst on Oh yeah, that's good.
Oh, from last year's, yeah, mate. There's a possibility because I was in a lot of videos from the summit last year.
Yeah, so we go, and that's another thing. Watch the Techspert Wheelies; those are always a lot of fun. I think they're like 10 minutes, 9 or 10 minutes, and they're a lot of fun. And Chris's channel is fantastic. He is probably on my list of top 5 people that I go to listen to. If I really want to know about a phone, like I'm like, if I'm actually considering a device, one, he covers a lot of devices, things that a lot of people don't cover. I think that my top 3 that I go to right now, if I'm looking for foldable, flippable, I'm definitely going to Shane Craig.
Scary Flitteral.
Yeah, Scary Flitteral. If I'm going for a general phone, and Gigi. Yeah, well, the problem is she does a lot of the foreign ones and the imports, and I would love.
Yeah, that's why I go to Gigi because I love that.
Yeah, I can't get them. If I could, yeah, Gigi's another resource because she's fantastic. But and then and Adam Matlock, because I just like his approach. He just gives you this great scoop. Again, there's been takes he's took that I'm like, don't see that 100%, but I can appreciate why he's saying it. And then if in just general overall like phones. Chris, I like first of all, it's entertaining. He's really funny, but I think he hits the things about a phone that I really need to know and doesn't get kind of spun down the path, right? He's not pontificating about his knowledge about phones. It's just like, hey, here's what I do. And then the other people I listen to is the Barry Johnsons, the El Jefes, definitely audio. If I'm listening for anything audio related, I'm definitely going to Jeff. I'm definitely going to, TK is great. I listen to, but there are people, and here's the thing, they're not my go-tos for, or like to know if I'm buying a phone, but they're so entertaining and they draw me in. That's Barry Johnson, that's TK Bay, that's
Flossie
Carter's, those kind of things that I can just for 30 minutes or 20 minutes just listen to them talk and just be so completely like just enjoying the content. It's just I get some information. And kind of
I like Steve Litchfield's shorts. I wish he went back to long form.
Great shorts are great. Because and I do like that, and I do like Steve and Ted's takes on stuff. And so there's so many creators, and I hate to kind of like isolate some, but
Dan did a video on his Xperia 1 Mark 6. Worth checking out.
Yep. And DT, get some sleep, man. Get some rest. We love you, man. So hope you're taking care of yourself and stay hydrated and stay awesome, man. And we miss you, man. So hey, enjoy that. So yeah, I mean, it's just like anything else, right? There's going to be content creators that you watch a video, you really like it, and you recommend to people, or ones that. And here's the thing: I would tell you what I would think I would like to see people do more often. If you watch a video, and for whatever reason it doesn't land for you, right? If the production value is low, they make obvious comments that are wrong. Their delivery is maybe not as polished.
You've probably watched my channel.
Right. Well, give them constructive feedback. Say, hey, I really liked your channel, but around this minute mark, you made some comments. Maybe you should try an alternate approach, or maybe thinking about it from this perspective, right? Give positive feedback and give them a chance to grow. Instead of going on and says, you're an Apple shill, you're a Samsung shill, you're a Google shill, you suck, and you should just start a pistol, right?
Feedback is a gift.
Right. And some of these people are just out here trying, and I've listened to some of our first these podcasts now aren't that good, but definitely 4 years ago, especially when I first started, my first show was with by myself because Matt couldn't show up, was the one with Viper. And it is utterly painful to watch for me. It's painful to listen to that because God love Viper. I don't know why he used to say, you know what, dude, don't even like talk to me ever again. You are terrible at this. And I was terrible at it. It was definitely not very good.
I bet you weren't, Sam. I bet.
But no,
This
it was
is
bad.
this is in the prism of your own eyes, though. So like,
It is, and I do like Viper. And I have gone to his show, and I've kind of popped into his streams every once in a while. He always sees my name, and he says, "Hey Sam, how's it going?" I think he remembers who I am, but it just wasn't very good. I mean,
hey,
everybody when they start out isn't really great at this. There are very few natural talents at this. It takes.
if
practice.
he remembers you, you can't have been that bad, mate.
No, I mean, and he was gracious. I mean, he stuck around the whole time. He didn't after we got off the show. He's never negative about it. He just, it probably was something where he's like, man, that probably wasn't a really good use of my time, but hey, you know what? He was good about it. And so, and even if you disagree with the creator, just, try to, if you're going to give negative feedback, try to be constructive about it and give them something to at least to grow and develop on if you really care about people.
Yeah, if you dislike their content that much, just don't watch them, okay?
Right. Or maybe come back to them in 6 months and see if their content has improved. Because you'd be surprised. Some of these people, when they start out, aren't very good. And as they get some repetition, they get some feedback, and they start to develop, and they improve their equipment, and they kind of change their pacing and maybe do some scripting, and they kind of work. If they're truly in it to basically make good content, you'd be surprised. Maybe they're going to come back, and they might surprise you a year from now, I mean, we'll go back and look at some of MKBHD stuff when he was a little kid. They weren't awesome. They were terrible content as far as like audio quality is not very good. The video quality is obviously technology is bad. But he's a teenager. He's 15 years old. Look at it where he is now, right?
Yeah.
But there's been probably a bunch of 15 and 16-year-olds that have tried to do all that stuff and have just not. But the perseverance, right? There's other people, but just don't be an asshole, right? Just try to be a nice person. Yeah, right. And the trifold. Yeah, so no, I've heard some I've seen some mixed reviews. Like the durability is really interesting. I think they're really going completely off the rails with like it's wild. It's a wild device, dude, folks. I'm telling you, even if you're not into foldables, if you're not into tech, that may be true. But dude, watch the video on that, mate. You're gonna be like, what is going on? It's pretty wild.
You can't ignore.
No, it's pretty wild.
The bifold. It's got two folds, not tri.
Yeah, so I'm curious. I might check that out because I'm curious to see what Marquez has to say about that. And I do, folks. I do enjoy Marquez's content. I don't think he's not my go-to for if I want to really know about a phone. Again, I have different folks, but he's definitely somebody I enjoy his content. I watch his car videos too. I watch that test drive of the Nomad Rivera, dude. That's stupid. That electric car, it's insane, man. It's crazy. So I do like Marquez's content. I really do appreciate his effort, and he's well deserved. He's worked hard. A little bit of luck, but a lot of work, a lot of hard work. And you know what? No shame in the game.
I think anytime you make it to the top, you need some luck. I mean,
yeah. I mean, sometimes you need also timing, right? Timing. The space is a lot harder than it was 10 years ago, and so, it's all good. But there are people who do the work and who pushed past that 100,000 sub plateau on YouTube. And those people usually are people that I can understand why, because of what they're doing. And they will grow and they will, and they'll do well. It's just a lot of work and there's burnout. And, this is an interesting business we work in, right? That's why I just riff for, with Joe for an hour and a half or an hour, 10 minutes or so every Sunday. So again, an interesting week like it always is in tech. And I realize that we got phones coming out again. Android 15 is out on most Pixel devices. Go get that. Check that out. If you're wanting to do it, buy a new fold, buy a new flip, buy a new phone, get an iPhone 16. Just don't be an asshole, right? Try to be a decent person.
I think we're about 20 odd hours away from the summit starting, aren't we? Snapdragon.
Yeah,
summit.
and I think Manos is on his way. I think he might even have landed.
No, Manos is there. Manos is there. Yep, he was enjoying his breakfast there this morning.
Well, good at him. I mean, Manos is a good dude. Hopefully he enjoys it, and he well deserved. Manos does a lot of good camera work, and it'll be a good time. So I'm looking forward to maybe get him on again and see how things are going with him. And need to have the captain on. But just so everybody knows, we definitely will not have a show next Sunday. We may consider, depending on Joe's schedule and my schedule, a Saturday show. So we'll try to keep everybody tuned up for that. And if not, then we'll have a little break and try to see if we can get a guest or two and kind of go from there and just kind of finish out the year strong and having a good show. And again, I really appreciate everybody who comes on the show, that listens to the show, who downloads it, who comments in the chat, and you guys are great. And Joe and I mean, every time we talk about stuff we're going to do, we can't thank everyone enough for the love and support they give us. So appreciate that. And again, and so check out those creators, and just go look at a phone review from a creator that only has like 1,500 subs and see what they do. You'd be surprised. And if you're a good person and you see something you might want to make a comment on, either send them a DM or just make a comment on their video and say, hey, I really liked your work, and there's some rough spots, and here's some idea. Be surprised. Help somebody out. I think that's truly how you would support a creator, right?
And share their content, guys.
And share their content and let everybody know, and and make a comment and let them know even though they may not be out here killing it, but the fact that they're trying to do something that's probably outside their comfort zone, and there's something they may not have a whole lot of talent at first, they have to cultivate. Try to be a good steward of that, and try to help them out. It is appreciated. So
yeah, man.
And absolutely, remember, skin your shit. Don't be a dick. Joe, anything else before we you sign off for the week?
I think you've covered all bases. It's been emotional.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on, man. So again, try to enjoy your tech. Try to take care of each other. All right, don't be an asshole. All right, get some love. When you think about maybe making some content, and or if you're making a comment, think about how it's going to land, and try to be a good person. Be surprised. And that comes back to you, right? Karma.
Check out the tech disruptors. Check out the phonies.
Yep.
Check out the phone show chat.
Yep.
Check out Wombat now.
Yep, TK and El Jefe, GG, Barry Johnson, all those folks. Scoop, go check out his content. I know he does great photography, and also the
legendary tech preacher.
Yep, check him out. And like I said, we'll be back hopefully next Saturday. If worst case, it'll be the Sunday after that. And we really appreciate you guys. Love you. Enjoy your tech, and we will catch you all soon. Bye.
Bye.